Oh, 20 seconds.
Hi, thank you for coming. I'm Matt Kaufman, one of our organizers. My two co-organizers are here as well. It's GDG Los Angeles. Today we're going to start by talking about the Google Cloud Platform, and then we'll get into our main act, which is doing one of the code labs from I/O this year. So this is a slide deck that was put together by a fellow GDG manager, actually the one in Algiers. And so we let him have the credit still there. And we already posted this to the Google Plus page for the meetup. Let's grab a mouse real quick.
Where's Algiers?
It's in Africa, northern Africa. Yeah. Okay, so what is the Google Cloud Platform? And I won't read the slides to you because I don't use that type of presentation style. But we all are familiar with cloud computing. And so the cloud platform is a platform that you can use to build apps, or, as we'll see in a little bit, even host more than that. So if we were to look at the cloud in general, the three areas that we tend to look at are infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. And so when we think of things like Google Apps, or in this case he also put on Salesforce.com, NetSuite, Yahoo, etc., all these web-based applications, those are really software as a service. So instead of installing software on our local computers, we're going ahead and using a service that's hosted on a server somewhere in the cloud. Then there's platform as a service. So there are services out there such as Google App Engine or Heroku. He's listed Amazon, Elastic Beanstalk, and so on and so forth, Force.com, where you can write your own code and run it on those servers, and they will run, and you can build your own applications, basically run your own software on top of their platforms. And the advantage there is you don't have to really deal with any of the OS level stuff or hardware stuff or anything like that. So they provide you a platform that will execute your code, and then people can hit that via web browser or web service, whatever it is. And so that would be platform as a service. And then there's infrastructure as a service, which is taking it a step lower, where they're basically providing you with a VM, and you have to figure out what are you going to run on that VM, and maintain it, do the updates whenever there's a patch, things like that. And so most of you are probably familiar with EC2. That would be the most common, probably, infrastructure as a service. What Google has done is come out. App Engine existed for a long time. Google Apps existed for a long time. And what they're now saying is now you can actually do some additional stuff on the platform that App Engine was running on. They've exposed things like the data store and cloud store and things like that, as well as VMs, so that you can use it as an infrastructure as a service. So there's three parts to it, basically. If you were to go to the cloud platform website right now, you'll see there's three parts to it. But the things you can do on there to allow you to build, test, and deploy, as we'll see. This is the screenshot you'll probably see in various presentations. There's actually a video that we can watch as well. There's one of the server farms. So why would you use Google Cloud Platform as opposed to like EC2 or some other platform that was mentioned? It's the same platform or same infrastructure that Google is using for all of its services. So when you see a video on YouTube about how they have the instantaneous releases, they can do a patch and instantaneously it's being patched and things like that. Obviously, there's a lot of redundancy, scalability, things like that. It's all built in to that infrastructure, and so you can run your apps on there too for very little cost compared to what it would cost to actually buy a server farm or even a single server in a server farm. And what that does, that allows you to focus more on just writing your code and getting your application up and running, as opposed to dealing with, okay, which OS should we run on, and which patches do we have to do, and installing various software, things like that. No, you basically just start writing code, which is a lot faster than having to set up a box in the corner or work with some type of other system. Built in are a lot of APIs and SDKs and things like that. There's administration. We'll see later. There's a UI that you can go and see different stats about your application running and things like that. You can choose which aspects of the Google Cloud Platform you want to use. You don't have to use them all. You can pick and choose. For instance, I recently wrote an app that just uses the data store, and I'm not touching anything else. You could use BigQuery, you could use Cloud Store, you can use combinations of it. I saw an interesting video on a company that's based out of Latin America. I don't remember if it's South America or Central. But they're using Google Apps, Google App Script, and BigQuery to basically run the analytics behind their application, which is a kind of a developer communication tool. Like I said, it automatically scales. So if you are starting to get a lot of hits to your service, automatically they're going to go ahead and do whatever it takes to support those hits. You don't have to worry about starting a new VM. You don't have to worry about replicating the data store to another location or anything like that. All that's built in, which is, again, allows you to just focus on writing your code and not worry about anything else. If Google's products can support the bandwidth that they support, then your product will too. You do pay for what you use, though. In addition to the scaling, it's also redundant across the world. So regardless of whether someone is here or in Asia or in Africa, the performance should be the same, assuming the connection was the same. So there is a partner ecosystem. There's also the Google Developer Expert Program, the GDE program, people who provide support. I actually got a phone call just randomly from someone on the cloud team saying, "Hey, you attended the event in LA 2 weeks ago. You know, what are you doing with it? Do you need any help?" And he's been in pretty good contact since. It's kind of awkward to get a phone call from Google with people just asking if you need help with anything. And he contacted me 3 times already, and I said, "Yeah, I have this question." And he went out, found the answer, came back. So it's not only is it a fairly new platform, but they're really supporting it well, and I didn't pay for any of that support or anything. In fact, I haven't paid a dime for it. We're still kind of piloting stuff.
Wow.
So besides that, though, you can Google. There's forums and message boards and stuff like that too. So here's a breakdown of the types of stuff you can do. Again, I said there were like 3 categories. So compute, storage, and then app services. On the compute side, we have App Engine or Compute Engine. The storage is what I've been working on more. So we have cloud storage, Cloud SQL, Cloud Data Store, persistent disk. And then on the app services, we have BigQuery, Cloud Endpoints, which you can use as API endpoints for your mobile apps, let's say, caching and queues. So again, a lot of you are probably familiar with App Engine, and so that's the equivalent of a platform as a service on, let's say, Amazon or Heroku or something like that. And if you don't want to worry about the maintenance or patching of lower level stuff, then that's perfect for you. You just write your code. App Engine at this point supports several languages, so you don't have to necessarily conform to a specific one. And everything beneath App Engine is going to happen automatically. All the scaling, all the redundancy, all that stuff. You just have to write your code. If you did want to deal with VMs, to be able to have greater control, then you can use what's called Compute Engine, which allows you to control when a new VM would be started or spun down or anything like that. Storage, so there's 3 places you can store data. Actually 4, but we'll look at the 4th one later. So there's a Cloud SQL database, which is basically just a SQL database that's hosted on Google's platform, and you can hit it just like you would any other SQL database to insert, update, modify data, or query data. Data store, which is a non-structured database using key value pairs. And so you basically just submit JSON to it. It's a little more complex at first, but it allows you to store data that doesn't conform with each other. So you can have a table where, well, it's essentially a table where the columns are different across the rows, which you can't normally do in a SQL database. But because data stores key value pairs, that allows you to do it. So it's basically a list of key value pairs for each row. And so your first row can have 3 columns, and your second row can have 5, and they don't have to match up. So if you don't know what the data is going to look like before you're going to put it in there, you can't really use a SQL database, and so you could use data store instead. And then cloud storage, which allows you to store blobs or files. And that file could be a CSV that actually has data in it, or it could be images or audio, video, whatever you want to And then there's the app services. So all the APIs that are built in to Google's platform are available. So when you're writing your code, if you want to hit Maps or you want to hit Gmail or anything else, YouTube, whatever it is, you can access directly from there. And then BigQuery, is that on here? No. So BigQuery is also another one that allows you to handle large data sets, and technically you can store data in there too. You don't have to put it in one of these other 3 places. So where to go now? If you are currently hosting something on, let's say, EC2, and you're tired of dealing with the low-level stuff of the OS and other add-ons on top of that, then it may be worthwhile to move to an App Engine app, because you won't have to deal with any of the low-level stuff, and it'll scale automatically. And that's what I've been trying to do, is move stuff to App Engine and just run there. If you have an app that's like a mobile app or somewhere else on the web, and you want to be able to just take advantage of scaling via endpoints, that's essentially setting up an API, and you can hit that API as much as you want, and they will scale it for you. And then, of course, there's also all the built-in Google APIs that you can hit too. This is a paid service, but there's a free tier, so you can start off using it for free, and then only as your use goes up would you pay. And we still have a promotion. I don't know if those codes will work, but if not, we have some other codes too, for $1,000 worth of credit for the cloud platform. So they're basically giving out all over the place. In fact, there's a roadshow going on. They're going around the country. So they're still giving out $1,000 credit to people. Even if you don't attend the roadshow, you can just watch the webinar. The next one's in November in San Francisco. It's pretty easy to get started. If you've created a Google Code project in the past, it's basically the exact same. Just at the bottom, there's a couple extra options for SQL databases, data store, or App Engine project, things like that. Definitely, it's well documented. We'll go ahead and pull up the website real quick. Except for without the PowerPoint, sorry. I see that same image here. Yep, there's a similar one. And I don't know if I've done it on this login yet, so I may not. Oh, it did. Okay, yeah. So here are our projects. So these are actually non-Google Cloud projects. These are just projects that I was working on. They actually were App Engine projects, but if we were to go to one right now, what you'll see at the bottom is we do have options for compute, storage, and big data. So if we would go to compute, we can see here where we could set up App Engine and all the different settings here. There's compute engine where we can set up different VMs, storage where we can set up our cloud storage, our data store, or our SQL database, and then BigQuery, which includes big data and allows you to upload large data sets. So it's basically built in. If you already created a project before, it's just at the bottom. Not like you have to go to a different place. And this console has actually been consolidated. So there used to be a slightly different look and feel for it. Now this is consolidated. So even if you were just creating a project that had nothing to do with Google Cloud Platform, you'd also be using this console. So it's a good idea to get used to it. Inside, like I said, there are some metrics that are available to you here. We can see a chart for the website and some error codes that we're having there. There's versioning built in. There's also the push-to-deploy functionality that came out a little while ago that's built in also. All sorts of good stuff. Let me go back. Sorry, it's a hover. Okay, so here you can see everything that's now rolled under there. Some of that was not necessarily there when this platform first came out, but like Cloud DNS and things like that. But now this is all considered to be part of it. Here you can see the pricing overview, and my calculations put all the pricing less than Amazon. In fact, I think they recently reduced it again, like a month ago or so. So this is if you were to actually host an entire machine, which you probably wouldn't do to start. Let's come down here to App Engine, which again is an easier place to start because you don't have to deal with anything else. So if you were to leave it running live, beyond the free quota, which does change over time as they keep increasing the quota or reducing it, depending on how you're looking at it. So it's 5 cents per hour per instance beyond the free quota, which is 28 hours per day. And so the reason why 28 and not 24 is you could run more instances. So as you scale, you might run more instances. You might have different things running, and so that's why it's 28. It's not that there are 28 hours in the day. And so in this case, if you were to spin down your VM or whatever it may be, obviously then it doesn't count as a running instance. So it's fairly inexpensive if you do the math there. Data does add up, and with data store, there's actually indexes that you have to pay for as well. So for every time you make a write, there's actually going to be multiple indexes that are saved that allow it to do its queries. But even still, it's fairly inexpensive. So you can see there 0.06 or 6 cents per 100,000 read or write operations. So for most of us who are just building these small apps that are not going to turn into the next Facebook, it's really not going to cost too much. Outgoing network traffic, income, etc. Cloud storage, again, that's going to be files. So the free quota is 5 gigabytes, which is a decent amount of data. And then beyond that, you're paying 2 cents or 2.5 cents per gigabyte per month. So just try to think about that. So you're talking about, a quarter per month if you had 10 gigabytes beyond the 5, so 15 gigabytes total. That's a lot of data. And that's, again, like file storage. And if it was video or audio, you could always store it on YouTube instead. You could also store it on Google Drive if you are a Google App subscriber. So you have options of putting stuff places if it's for internal purposes and not for your actual application, that type of thing. What else? Search and so on and so forth. Email API. Obviously, they don't want people spamming, so that you typically have to call if you're going to do mass emails. Yeah, virtual IP is actually the most expensive feature, and that makes sense when you think about it. Cloud SQL. So again, if you just wanted to host a SQL database on their platform, you have 200,000 read writes per day, and that's 36 cents. So 36 times 30, that's not that much for the month if you're only going to have 0.5 gigabytes. I mean, even at the top tier, it's still $50. I mean, it's nothing. So here's more just cloud storage. So the thing is, you can use any of these parts on their own. So that's why the pricing is kind of repetitive here and there. But again, it's pretty inexpensive. Here you can see 12 cents after the built-in, and this is for your first terabyte of data. So that's a lot of data. I mean, basically, if you wanted to back up everything you ever had, it'd be fairly cheap. I heard a quote that all the music in the world could be stored for $50 a month now. Wow. So I don't know if it's true. I haven't done the math, but
you use this like a Dropbox.
Yeah, yeah, you could. You could.
The last column, it says free. What is
ingress? That's incoming.
so
to upload's free. Yeah, and that's fairly consistent with other services too. So they, because you're paying for it once it's there, so they don't charge you to get it there. Yeah. Then there's operations, and different types of operations are weighed differently. So there's Class A versus Class B versus free. And so you can see here, Class A, if you're doing JSON API, insert, patch, update, list, delete. And so basically this just means write your code efficiently, and it'll cost you less. Write your code inefficiently, and it'll cost you more. So here's data store. Again, this is what I've been playing with. So it's 18 cents per gigabyte per month. I'm having a really hard time doing any calculations because it's just such small numbers that I can't really. I'd have to like bloat the storage to figure out what it's going to cost because I'm nowhere near a gigabyte. So it's like the opposite problem of what most people have. I can't calculate how little it's going to be.
Keep the change.
Right, yeah. Oh, exactly.
Is that different from App Engine Data Store?
No, that's what it's actually. The Cloud Data Store is the App Engine Data Store. They just rebranded it to Cloud Data Store, and they made it accessible via the JSON API, which I think is actually technically still beta. But it works fine. I haven't had any issues with it. So BigQuery, again, if you wanted to deal with large data sets, and loading data and exporting data is free on BigQuery. The storage is still extremely cheap, 0.026 cents, or 2.6 cents, I should say, per gigabyte per month. And then there's the running of the queries. That does cost money, but again, it's inexpensive if you were to look at it. And there's ways of optimizing your queries to use less data, basically. Endpoints are just free of charge because they figure you're going to be using something else with the endpoint. So an endpoint, again, is an API that you can set up, and then your mobile app or your web app, whatever you want, can go ahead and hit that API and then have something occur. And if 2 people are hitting it, that's fine. If 2 million people are hitting it, they'll scale accordingly. There's videos on all of these features also on YouTube. You can go just Google developers and then the name of the feature. Translate API is fairly new, I believe, to the cloud platform. And so I'm not familiar with it, but you can see here you can kind of use an API to translate information. Prediction API we actually played with in the past, and we could do another session on that. So that allows you to upload data sets and then compare new data against those data sets for prediction on the result. And I think that's it. Any questions?
How do you, like, would you handle, like, really secure data, like patient health information, like always-on encryption, stuff like that?
Yeah, I had a conversation at I/O with a Google employee who I won't name because this is being broadcast, but he was saying that internally they are compliant with HIPAA and FERPA and all these different things. They don't necessarily advertise that, right. But the data is encrypted on their servers. Now, with the app that I'm writing right now, I'm actually encrypting it prior to sending it. So even if there was some rogue employee or someone that hacked the server, it won't make a difference because now it's like double encrypted then. And that's what I would recommend is encrypt it prior to transmission, decrypt it on the way back, and then you really don't have to worry about it.
For the queries, is there any way for like those big data things to do like protected queries where you're like basically like identifying people and then just like loading like individual stats, like so you can get 25-year-old males with like like a heart condition.
To do something like that, you would have to do a query on the raw data and then store the result in another table, and then that table wouldn't have the resulting HIPAA information that you don't want to deal with, and so then you'd have to write code to ensure that someone can't hit the raw table or delete the raw table when it's done. I mean, it depends on the nature of the app. But that's what I would recommend is, you have a staging table, you run your calculations on that staging table, store it somewhere else, and now that's a safe public table, essentially, with just statistics and no identifiable information. Yeah. Okay. So that was our opening act. Gerard, are you doing the second part? Or am I? Am I? Okay, that's fine. So for our second app is going to be interactive. I don't know if everyone here... I mean, it's fine. I don't know if everybody here has a laptop or computer with them, but what we're going to be doing is walk through the one of the code labs that was made available at I/O this year, and we're going to be writing a mobile game. It's just tic-tac-toe, so it's not too hard. Let's see if I can. Yeah. So if you haven't already downloaded the source, we'll do this very slowly so people can do it. But you'll want to go to this URL. It was in the invite on the Google Plus page. So you want to go to the URL, and then basically you can step through the steps here. And we'll be using the Chrome Dev Editor, which is a Chrome app that is an IDE as well, so it's kind of neat. So again, I'd recommend going to the URL and getting this code to start with. And I'm on a Chromebook, so I'm not even sure I'm going to do this, but we'll figure it out. Yep, should work. So I'll go ahead and add it to this computer, and I don't know if I can do the Git part, but I can copy and paste, so it's not that big a deal.
Oh, yeah. I don't think you have a terminal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but
You do, sure.
Unless you're in dev mode.
yeah, I actually need to reboot too, so we'll just copy and paste. It'll work fine. Okay.
You could download Git extension.
Will that work?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Git extension. Chrome or for the Chromebook?
Git extension for anything. You just give it a URL to download. Yeah.
Cool.
Git browser. I mean, that'll work. Actually, I could probably just come here. Let me try typing Git and see what options are available. Well, it's not. It doesn't have the greatest reviews, but yeah, it looks like it'll work. We'll try it out. And there we go. So let's call this our 14. Make it too long. Let's just call it a game. Oh, did he? And it didn't seem to do anything. Where'd it go? Okay, no wonder why this app doesn't have great reviews. Where did it go? Let's try it one more time. Okay, that don't work. I think I entered the URL wrong. Oh, I could do it from here. Choose folder. Sorry. Let's create a new folder. Oh, that's it, isn't it? Oh, that's fine. Works on we have it there. So between the two, we'll get it to work. Was everybody able to get the editor open in Chrome? Yeah? No? Okay. There's refreshments in the back in the meantime, if anybody needs it.
It's in it can access USB device.
Oh, for music.
Galaxy S2.
Well, so at I/O, each station had a mobile phone connected to it as well. So that's probably
it's
why.
okay with that in S2.
Yeah, you don't need it. It was just what you could do is you could actually start playing the music on the phone, and then you could add the action. But this is the tic-tac-toe one, so it should make a difference. Okay, well, this is taking a while. So it's going to be a simple tic-tac-toe game, X's and O's, and I think we all know how to play. So the instructions are to create a new project, and I guess I could, now that I actually already downloaded the stuff to this computer, I could do this new project instead of the git clone. There we go. And we'll just call it tic-tac-toe. And then there's different options. And so we're going to choose, I believe, JavaScript web app. No, JavaScript Chrome app. And create. And hopefully it'll work. There we go. And so what it does is creating a template for a Chrome app. And so we have stuff like the manifest, some JavaScript files, HTML files, and so on and so forth. And if we were to preview this app, you can hit the play button up here at the top to preview the app. You should be able to hit the play button to preview the app. Nope. Manifest file is missing or unreadable. Great.
Where's the link for the Git?
Well, they're assuming that you're going to use the link itself. It's in the instructions on the first page. So here. The URL is in the event on Google+.
I just went
That might be fastest. Yeah, you can go to iocodelab.appspot.com. So if you know AppSpot is basically, this is an app engine app that someone wrote for I/O. They eat their own dog food, that's for sure. I don't know why I have a manifest though. Maybe because it's open. Let me try one more time. No. Yeah, essentially.
To me, it just ended up on my current folder. It's the same.
Okay. I just did
This is what I got.
So, I don't know why.
Well, except this.
Yeah, because it downloads everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe because of the directory.
Yeah, so, yeah, 13. Like, really need one.
Chrome just have begin and end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's try putting it in there, see if that'll work.
This one I need it.
Email.
Because I'm going to open begin.
Gotcha.
And just,
Nope, still not.
mm-hmm.
Alright, well, for some reason my manifest says it's not working, which is going to make it very difficult.
Yeah.
So you press them up to the right. After creating the how many copies of the URL? Okay. And I think this one just disappears. Just launch it and it's just launched. Okay, and I have to create a new one. Also, you can. What's the path for the
Let me...
For getting the code?
Yeah.
So I just went to the
It just downloads the files. So.
Okay, I would have the files in that case. But if I have files, then no have to go. Because when I created that first repo just disappears.
Yeah,
Just don't even save like I should. Yeah.
I think I
what are you using to get the repo?
I
I'm just following your steps. What's your
So make sure that you get this part here where it says git and then clone, and not just the URL. So where are you doing this from?
From there, I mean, I just download the G browser and just create the add repository and just pretty much then disappear as soon as I just press add.
So he's
Kind of
using
awkward.
the Git browser Chrome extension.
Oh, I see. Oh. Make sure that it says git colon. So for that Chrome extension, you want it to say git colon and then / this part. So basically, cut out this part, the everything here. The URL structure that tool uses is different. It should just be git and then colon. So don't have the HTTPS in there, and don't have the clone. No, not the clone. Just git and then colon.
Okay, I got it.
And that tool should do it then.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna. No, great. Please check Chrome for possible error dialog. Oh, this is gonna be hard to come on, load extension from dot. I'm gonna see if I can make a change to this. Yeah, I have a feeling.
With just one.
Yeah. Yeah, for some reason this manifest isn't working. Well, I can go through it. The problem is if I'm not going to be able to run it, then this is not going to be very good.
Is that what you use?
Yeah, that's
So if you're having problems with Git, I would just start. You technically don't need to do that part for this particular lab.
download the source.
Yeah. But I think I'm going to remove this and then start over. Since the manifest is bad.
Oh yeah, we don't need it.
Yeah, for this particular one, I don't think you need the source. So again, it's just starting a new project. Make sure you choose JavaScript Chrome app and create, and hopefully, no. Okay, it's just not working for me. Oh.
What is it, another error? That's the error that I'm getting.
So could not load
Install the one behind.
this one here?
Yeah.
That's basically saying something didn't work, and the thing that didn't work is the could not load extension from quote, which is kind of weird. I wonder if it's somehow associating with the wrong settings for me. Yeah, see, I think quick downloads. New folder. Let's call this for Chrome Dev. It's not. For some reason, my folders are not being saved. I wonder if I'm not an admin on the computer. That could be it. Well, I can go through it. I just may not be able to run it. So not the end of the world. Okay. So has everyone been able to get the dev editor up and running and create a new project? Okay. So that's the first step, is just getting it running. So then they provide us with the HTML. Obviously, if you want to, you could write this yourself. But this is the HTML for index.html. You just copy and paste it. And basically, this is the layout of your tic-tac-toe board. You can see here we have a series of divs here, and they basically form 3 columns with 3 rows. Or 3 rows with 3 columns, I should say. So there's a row, there's a row, there's a row. Each row has a cell, and so on and so forth. So if we took out all the CSS and JavaScript, that's all it is. It's just a 3x3 table, but it's made up out of divs. And then you can just hit Control-F to save in this editor, which is really nice. I love web-based editors. Next, they're going to have us modify the CSS. So we want to just copy and paste from styles.css, or into styles.css, I should say. I'm not running. Yeah, this is not going to be that much fun if I can't run it. And it should look like this. If you,
Did you open the previous downloaded code?
Sure.
Or you started from?
I started from scratch again, and it still didn't. Yeah, somehow it's just. I think it's because it's the Chromebook, and I'm either not logged in as an admin, or it's just not saving for some reason.
Chrome app doesn't work on Chromebook.
Well, if I was an admin on the book, it might work. But yeah. I'm not sure. This is Manifest version 2. That might make a difference. I don't know.
Yeah, mine is 2.
Yours is also 2?
From scratch.
Okay.
Looks
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with this. It looks like it. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I think I did. I have to install the application.
Oh,
Can't be one. It has to be 2.
Except for just-
Oh, yeah, I had the same error. So,
good.
By using my book.
I mean, I can do it on that one there too. It's just, setting it all up is going to be a pain. So, if someone else finishes it, we'll just show it on that computer. All right.
Did you save them?
No, I didn't save it.
I mean, I guess I could. You know what? Why don't we eat our own dog food? And I'm going to go ahead and run it again, and say could not load extension from manifest file is missing, and it pops up.
Yeah, when
Could not load extension.
I don't see any other errors.
failed to install application.
There we go. Is missing or invalid. Right. There we go.
There you go.
Something that commonly happens is the manifest file isn't named properly. Double check the name and extension to make sure it does not end with .txt. Open Windows Explorer. Yeah, that's not going to work for me. It's lowercase JSON. IE manifest. Here, also note that the name of the manifest file is in fact case sensitive. So it would be great if they told us which way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, on mine it's all lowercase.
Yeah, mine too. Here we go. This is Eclipse.
Maybe that whole version.
Manifest.json from this one. A leading space. Rename the folder my extension was in. So maybe it has something to do with the folder that it's in?
Maybe it's where you save it.
Name, short name, description, version.
No, this.
Huh, yeah, I don't know. But I do see that every time I try to specify a directory here, it doesn't remember it for whatever reason. Oh, okay, now I hit close. You know what, let's do a strip trailing. Okay. Nope.
So they have admins on their Chromebooks now?
Yeah, you can have like an admin login and a guest login, but or unreadable Chromebook dev editor. Ah, so it might be a Chromebook issue because. Yeah, everybody's doing it on Windows, so it's hard to know.
Launcher that takes files. That's one of the things. On that source code. Oh, when you click create, that's what you get.
Yeah, just only on create it.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea why this thing goes on the devices and the files.
And you probably close it. When, see, on mine, this is what I.
So is everyone getting that same error?
Uh-huh.
Yeah? Okay, so it's not just me.
Not the manifest, but I'm getting the second error.
The second one.
Application.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah, so you have background, you have index and main this and style.
Same.
This is the one that I got.
19 lines.
Well, I'm gonna keep going through and see what I can do. I don't think there's anything about updating the manifest.
I mean, even programming is already a big percent.
So, I mean, I didn't do anything else. Just a big project. They.
Sometimes if I do like pure PHP,
But yeah, now we
Click create, and you try to run that one.
Oh,
much more.
okay.
Because they're all like CSS is so powerful.
Yeah, I never tried
Just
running
imagine
it
just calling CSS through
until after
JavaScript.
the
Code.
step 1 and 2.
Oh, well, it's just, you should be able to do hello world.
Yeah,
Way more
okay.
than
Step
what you
3.
need, and you don't need.
I mean, I guess we can.
I ran.
Yeah, you should be able to do hello world. I mean, I guess the other thing I could do is do a new project and then just do a blank project. Start from scratch. So, right, I'll create it.
I've been starting it. It's actually just around a score.
So, hello world. Save and so that does run. Okay, so I just created a blank project, and since oops, sorry, I'm gonna come back. So if you create a new project, you can make a blank one, and then I'm just gonna manually start adding everything that was already in there. It'll be faster than trying to figure out what's going on.
Instead of a Chrome.
Right, just do a blank project, and then you can see on my screen all the files that you'll need to create, as well as folders. And honestly, the icon does not matter, so it's not the end of the world if you. I'm going to leave the manifest for last. I'm not going to add a manifest for now. If we're not going to deploy it, it really shouldn't make a difference.
Yeah, I looked at the notepad.
You just right-click on the project and say New File. Okay, and ta-da! So you can see here my 3x3 grid. So that part worked.
So there's something wrong with the.
There's something wrong with the default
Chrome app.
or template for for that. So
You need to diff it. See what's-
yeah, I don't know. It could be an extra space or something. It's something
Yeah.
trivial probably. Let me go ahead and create my board.js. And okay, so I think that's everything.
Just import file.
You can import it too. Yeah, I was purposely not doing that, so that way I didn't want to import the problem again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your program is we cut and paste.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Actually, we're not program, we're hackers.
Board index main styles. Okay, so coming back to my instructions. So what I did just before is I copy and pasted the main.js, and now we're going to open index.html and add the following code block at insert point A. So what they've done, if we were to go back to index.html, they have right here kind of a marker so that you know what you need to add. So right now we just have the table, and I'm going to come here and I'm going to copy this and paste this. And what this is going to be, this is where our little button is going to be to restart the game. Now if I hit save and run it again, we should see that. Oh, no. Oh, there it is down here at this button. And right now it's not really going to do anything. So this is actually running locally. You can tell it's running just on a very obscure port. And so this is the way all the labs work. There's little insert points. What was the...
If I click my Chrome apps button in the taskbar,
Uh-huh.
I can actually launch the
Right.
tic-tac-toe and
As one of the apps, yes.
it works.
Fully works?
Well, I mean,
Then, let me assume the codelab that you downloaded? Could that
it
be
says
it?
hello world. Like,
Oh, it says hello world. Right, yeah.
But it doesn't work from inside the Chrome dev editor.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's weird.
That is weird.
So you can launch it outside.
Uh,
Did you already delete your?
no, it's still there.
Do you have the? Did it install somewhere? Your tic-tac-toe game.
No, it didn't. No, that's an external. Oh, here, this one here. Oh, but that's the one I'm currently running. And they have the same name. And oh no, wait, tic-tac-toe versus tic-tac-toe 2. Hold on. Yeah.
So
This is the first one. You're right. So that's right. That is weird. It's running. So there's a problem with the dev editor then.
You
Something.
can't run it from inside the editor.
Well, you should be able to, because I'm able to run the other one from inside the editor. But maybe that could be the final version of the manifest, maybe so that could be the problem or something. I don't know. So basically, you just walk through. Obviously they're giving you stuff to copy and paste. It's much more meaningful if you're kind of looking at it and seeing what's going on. Oh, that's not good. My main.js is not correct, so I must have skipped a step somewhere. Ah, this one here. Let me go ahead and run. There you go. So you can see now I actually have a somewhat functioning game. But my restart doesn't work because I didn't finish the lab yet. So little by little they're building it. If you keep going back and running, you can see what the change that you just did, what effect it has. Let's go ahead and close that. So here this allows us to restart, and here's some style, and then right here is where I was at. So here we're handling the finished game, and then here drawing the board.
Oh, there's
And again, I can come back here at any time and hit refresh.
Can any of you guys write a game like this from scratch completely?
Well, you don't have to write from scratch.
No, I know, but I mean, actually, if you knew how to do this, you'd be a really good programmer, huh? You got it bad?
I don't think this is that complex of a game. It's tic-tac-toe.
No, but I mean, it demonstrates just about every programming, right? Put everything in an array and for
Oh, I broke something.
the final project for Java was a breakout. Like where you have the ball down.
Yeah, I broke something.
and you code, you know every line of code of that?
No, I didn't finish it.
No.
Yeah, that's. But yeah, it's a lot of work. I mean, just creating the arrays.
Alright, let me go back.
I still have it. Yeah, definitely.
Style the board.
Clips editor is cool because as soon as you break it, it tells you. So, like, it's kind of like offset compile to fix the different things in like the web blend. The web blend, like, you misplace your space. Like, damn it, where is it? But with the compile ones, it kind of is nice to code for a while.
Yeah, I still don't get coding. It's like, I can't even understand PHP just makes so much sense.
I recreated exactly like you did.
Just paste.
The change I did to main.js is what broke it. So I'm going to go ahead and
No, I haven't gotten there yet.
Framework and stuff.
oh, look there, I got it working and my style's off now. Oh, yeah.
That's why I did show this different show. Then all the activity and portfolio.
Okay, so add game state handling. Open index.html, add the following. I think I have that already. Yeah. Okay, add the following styles at insert point B. So this is in styles.css, insert point B. Save. Okay, so now it should be big X's and big O's. Okay.
Where did you copy the source from when you had issue?
I just started from scratch with a blank file.
But where did you copy the source from?
It's all in the lab.
Oh, it's in the lab?
Yeah, so this is one of the simpler labs. You don't. There's no starting point. You actually start with blank.
If you go to the very first page, there's a link that.
Right, yeah, I saw that, but, because I copied the solution,
Mhm.
and I actually ran the solution, and it had the same issue.
Try running it from the Google Chrome apps launcher. So you're on Windows. So if you just go to like run and start typing in, yeah, you want to show
Yeah.
Chrome, it should come up.
So I don't know if you have
Add the following blocks right after the corresponding insertion
So
point.
it is running from
Okay.
there, but,
Right.
I guess it's the editor issue. still?
I think the editor doesn't.
Oh.
You can't run from the editor for some reason.
It's very odd. So it's a lot more like, because I keep on running.
Yeah.
It shouldn't matter.
Yeah, it should.
Always on error when I'm running it.
And now, see, look at that. Now I broke it.
Even from the.
Too much tangle for
Do
me.
you have this like the Chrome icon at the bottom?
That's kind of cool. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Click from there and then click.
The stuff just looks like that.
There you go. Now it's right.
Screens.
Oh, yeah, just,
There you go. See, I guess it's just a bug.
And we start like, run through the,
Yeah.
everything says.
Being online, that's the problem.
So what?
If trying online is good. Yeah, it's not.
Maybe it's not optimized for.
Oh, there we go. Hey, okay, I got it working.
We're also running from the study.
I'm ready. He's ready.
Yeah, because I know we started the same thing, it's very error.
I use Chrome.
Okay, when you
start
I
started the.
Yeah, we started, then yeah.
PCs now that's starting to have this run, drive editor.
Mhm.
Like there's a Toshiba Costco that's.
Yeah.
And these are the regular drive for keys.
Yeah, mine does.
So it's like,
That's,
Yeah.
the small.
I think unless you're on a Mac. You're on any other OS.
What is that?
Well, I got mine working.
You did.
So, and you probably can use the URL too. So if you can't get it to run, you probably can just type in that URL, the local IP, and then the port, and it should work.
Okay.
And so I did get it working, and it does work, and it tells you which player won, etc., etc. Now, this is actually very similar to a code challenge at from. Yeah, what's it called? CodeJam. Yeah, it's very similar to CodeJam because I recognize the JavaScript in board.js. If you look at the top of it, how it shows the possible scenarios. This is just an array of numbers, and if you look, there's 9 elements in each array. So these are the possible. If you were to think about the world of tic-tac-toe, what are the possibilities? These are the possibilities. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows with 9 numbers in sequence. That's all there is. And the reason why there's so few is because if you rotate it, it's the same. It's the same. It's the same. So it's really not that complex of a game. That's why people tend not to really enjoy playing tic-tac-toe. And so this is how, if any of these scenarios show up, then we know that the game is over. That's it. These are the only scenarios. And so then here we can see just some other variables, and this is the empty board. So we start with just empty zeros, and let's see. Where's something interesting? Get cell stitch is a getter, getter. Check available plays. So if there's fewer than 9 cells completed, then we can continue. There's room available. Oh, that's interesting. So if you were to win on the very last move, then this function would make it look like it's a tie. But I think this other one down here actually will then override it or run afterwards. And so we can see here, it loops through, I guess, all 9 cells, and it's trying to create an array to see, I guess, if there's 3 in a row. Is that what it's doing here? Winners, outlines. Yeah, it's looping through each thing just to see if there's 3 in a row. So a loop within a loop, yeah. So let's see if I can get it to be a tie. X, O. This is hard. I gotta plan ahead.
Oh, wait a minute. This is a 2-player game.
Yes, it's a 2-player game.
Okay.
Yeah, so then it says draw down there. Okay, so now let's see if I can get it to win on the last row and see what happens. Oh, X. Oh, no, that's not going to work.
I guess this would be cool app with those watches that's going to be coming out. Hey, you guys want to play tic-tac-toe across the country?
Send your heart and go to
Yeah, that's right.
Huh. I can't. I don't know if I can do this. I'm trying to get it so that you win on the last move. Is it even possible? Oh. X.
Yeah, put it all there.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So that second function runs after the first one. So going back to here. So this obviously runs, and then this one runs after each time. And that's why I was able to do it. If you wanted to make a change to like the look and feel, you would just change the style. Come here and change the background color if we wanted to. That is not going to be visible. Let's go ahead and make it light blue. Yeah, now the background is light blue. And so there's more to this lab too. If you can get it working, the next step is actually to deploy to a mobile device, which I can try to do. I don't know if it'll work on the Chromebook, but we can try to do that. Since I have multiple mobile devices on me today. Let's see if I can get it to work. Okay, I'm a developer. And
Oh, you need to download an APK.
I just got to turn on development. Okay, so this next step, what we're going to do, deploy to an Android device. Okay. So we want to select the tic-tac-toe project and click the ... icon, and choose deploy to mobile. And now, because I don't have a manifest, this actually might not work. I think I'm going to have to. Okay, so I'm going to go to my connected mobile device and run Chrome and enter in this really difficult IP, which will only work if I'm actually on the network too. So I better connect to the network. Yeah. Okay, so I'm now on the network. Please do not show this anymore. And let me see if I can type in this really. I should use like push bullet or something. Or Chrome to phone. It's a slash. Oh, there it is. Okay. Tick. Tack. Toe. Oop. 2. Okay, it's spinning. It's spinning.
Did you install the codelab developer tool?
On here?
Yeah.
No, did it say to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. Well, let me go ahead and do you get it from Play Store?
No, it's GitHub.
Download it.
Let me open up another tab then. Yeah, I found it. Oh yeah, install kind of the APK. Yeah. Is the APK just downloadable?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you go.
Oh yeah. Which was the latest version? 8.2?
Yeah.
Okay. 35 megs. Wow. What's in there? Okay. Well, that'll take a while to download, probably. Anyone needs a phone? I'm selling this one.
Alright.
Yeah.
So you just.
I did.
Oh, the Virgin.
It's Virgin Mobile, and I just don't like Virgin Mobile. And then I got an invite for an 1+1, so I got that instead.
Did you get
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. And I've been using it for a while, except for I'm on the $30 plan at T-Mobile's. I ran out of minutes, so I
So thin.
yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I could use VoIP. Yeah. I actually have a Ring 2 on there, but if you're out and about, it's not convenient to be on VoIP.
Yeah.
So
Well, actually, I want to test that. I wonder if it would work.
it should work, but the quality won't be that good. I mean, it depends where you are.
So if you use the Hangouts app to make your call, it will
It'll work. Yeah, it'll use data. Yeah, it'll work. Yeah.
It won't switch over automatically.
No.
Gotcha.
Okay, so If you're still downloading, I probably am too. Actually, I'm 72% done. But you're on the public Wi-Fi, I'm not, so sorry. And actually, if anybody is running the completed app, we could all connect to the same one, technically. It's over the network.
So it's running a web server.
Yeah. Okay, so it's installing for, or actually it just downloaded for me. I have to open it.
However, you have to have the proper driver on the computer.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go to File Manager and open up that APK. Next, okay, install. Make sure you have unknown sources allowed. And it's installing. There's another tool you can use also, CCA.
Can you show us the CCA?
I've never used it, but apparently there's a link to it in the resources section at the end of the code lab. So if we jump ahead, on the next slide, slide 6. I don't see it. That's funny. It said in the resources section. Maybe here. No?
Who wrote the code then?
A Google employee. Oh, here it is. GitHub repo with CCA. There it is. So these were made for I/O. They had a bunch of stations set up where you could try them out. Create Chrome apps for mobile using Apache Cordova. Yeah, okay. So there's a video. But before we watch a video, let's go ahead and see if I can get this working. Okay, so the application's installed. I'm going to go back to Chrome. And see if I can get it to work. Chrome, when you're connecting to mobile device, point it to this. You may need to set up port forwarding from your mobile device to port 59265. I don't know if that's right.
Yeah.
Nice, there you go. Did you do it with USB or the?
Yeah, I picked USB. And you turn on.
Yeah, you plug in.
So how did you do it?
You have the application. Start debugging. Okay, yeah. Then should work, right?
Oh, I think I probably don't have the right drivers on here or something.
Oh,
Let me try one more time.
I think it's just because you can't launch applications.
I'm not really.
You have to turn on the display mode.
To the deploy mode for what?
From your phone.
Ah, there. Okay, so it's because I didn't have the manifest.
I mean, the device.
Ironically.
Yes, because the logging and it should be something that connects to USB. There you go.
It's the
Well, no, I didn't. So in order to run it on as an Android app, you need a manifest. So, oops.
Verify after you
If you don't connect USB,
Oh, turn it.
it should be.
Now I should be able to deploy to mobile, deploy via USB.
Just restart everything. And start to download.
And now if I-
Notifications, just like, yeah, something download, just get it.
No mobile devices connected. Yeah, see now the problem is it may be deployed to a network host with the IP. Let's do it this way. So if I got to turn off the cell data on this. Mobile data off. Okay. You're not. Well, let's see. So it's not working over the network, ironically. But it will work over the internet. So I guess I could turn back on mobile data and see what happens.
Yeah, but you have to find out your IP also.
Yeah, it has it here now. I don't know. It's possible that this is not a, this could be through NAT of some sort. So.
Go in the settings.
No, I'm saying that the cell networks may not give you an actual IP. It may just be an IP address.
Oh.
Deploy your networks with this IP. Why is that not acceptable? Yeah, see, it may not.
Yeah.
It doesn't listen.
You can use a port.
Oh, maybe no port? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's see what happens. That'd be hilarious if it'll go across the internet, but it won't do over the local network.
Something like that. It's better than you.
Yeah. Mine does not.
That's it. Whatever you have.
You set it to my IP?
Yeah.
Well,
Think so.
no, I mean, I would see it show up here.
I mean, it didn't give me an error.
Mine timed out.
Please check for connection authorization dialog on your device. I'm not doing any port forwarding on here either. It said you might have to. But that's this phone, so. Dude, see, your phone is IP, not to my phone. Okay.
Is that the IP of your phone?
That's the IP of my phone, yeah.
How
So
do you know that?
the tool, the Chrome App Developer tool, tells you your IP address.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but for whatever reason, when I was on our local internet, intranet, or network, whatever, it was not working.
Wait, it's saying check authorization.
Yeah, and I'm not getting any authorization message, which could be because of port forwarding. Or it could be that address actually is not my real IP address, and it's a NAT address that the cell network is, giving me, which is probably the case. So if you have a computer that you can connect the phone to, which I'm on a Chromebook, so it's not really going to be possible, you should be able to do this. But I could.
Anyway, you got it. You got it.
Yeah, it worked.
Maybe because mine does that mode just stops.
Yeah.
You could
No, you
convert
can't. Mine
this
just
from
give you the empty book.
iOS.
You could use Cordova to do it with iOS, yeah. Let me try one more time. I'm going to turn off the.
Yeah. I think it's because you can't hit play on your editor.
That could be.
No, I fixed that.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Fix it?
Well, oh, no. Oh, because I don't have the assets. Shoot, let me take out the icon. Oh, you can't not have an icon. Where is it? Google Drive. Oh, I didn't get them all. There we go. And file.
You use it to deploy.
Not from this laptop. So I need.
Maybe you need GDG.
Yeah, I can run it.
What?
It's working. Yeah, it's working now.
You fixed it.
Yeah, so what I did to fix it was to recreate it from scratch, import the assets, and then recreate. So something is wrong with this manifest that came with it. It's probably, you know what it is? It's the trailing space, I think, at the end. It's as silly as that seems, but I think that's the problem. No, it's still not working. I don't know, but creating it from scratch fixed it.
And you copied that manifest.json.
I copied the interior text of it. I didn't actually copy the file itself.
The manifest is
So something is, you can delete the file and recreate it probably. That would work. So I am able to run it. You can see there. Okay, so draw. Let me try one more time to deploy to mobile.
So this is how you do a clone game. and film.
It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, see, it's not recognizing the device.
Interesting.
So yeah, you can't bind to port 2424. I might have to do something about port
It's
forwarding.
probably defaulted.
Okay. There's navigate to your app directory and deploy using the CCA push target IP address command. Oh, here we go. Deploying via USB. Android. Use ADB for. I can't run ADB on here either.
Well, you can just download it to your phone directly and install it, I think.
Yeah, no, I think it needs to run on.
Oh,
So
Right here.
you got the application, the APK installed on your.
Yes, I do. Yeah. So it may not be something that was really meant to be done on a Chromebook.
Yeah, I thought you could run ADB on.
Oh, you know what? It's under charge phone.
There's some ADB plugin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For Android?
On the Chrome Web Store, you just
Oh.
you look for ADB.
We can try that.
If it's a limited.
It says not deprecated. But let's try doing a new search. Chrome ADB or ADB shell for Chrome. This one has better reviews. Yeah, let's try that. Okay. And let me change it back to USB. Device list none. I mean, it probably needs a driver, I would think. Here, run $1080B start server. How would I run that?
you have to connect first.
Yeah, it's
maybe?
assuming it's non-Chromebook.
Right, yeah.
Would the IP be the 10 dot whatever?
What to go again? Android with Chrome. Well, this is. Okay, I did that. Enable USB discovery in Chrome. Ah, okay. So let's come here and go to settings.
That's interesting though. They're making a big deal out of using the Chromebook into an Android. So I guess Android's where it's all headed out to. You would think it's the other way around.
I don't see it. Let's come here. Oh. Discover USB. Yeah, it's different here. Oh, DevTools, I mean. Isn't there a way to do the advanced settings? Developer tools. Oh, inspect devices. Okay, here we go. Port forwarding. Devices. Ah, here we go. So what was it? 2424, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Still says could not bind to 2424. Please accept debugging session on the device. Aha. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so here, that's the phone. And we probably don't need that. Here we go. Deploy via USB deploy. No. $24.24 is a red. Is that 8080 is green though? Yeah. Open tab with you. Oh, you know what? You can see it's trying to go to it. Look right there. That's where I'm trying to go. And I can actually reload. I'm reloading this tab right now. All right, this is awesome. So I can control Chrome running on my phone from here, but I can see the Chrome app developer tool.
How does this actually work? So like the apps are actually just reading plain old HTML, CSS, JavaScript files natively? Is that how it actually works?
What do you mean by the apps?
Like, okay, you're trying to take this what you just wrote and you're trying to make it into an app, into the mobile app.
Well,
What actually happens? Does it like reconvert everything into like its own language, or does it actually natively read that whole script?
so since we added the manifest.json, we can basically run this as an app because this defines what's included in the app.
Okay.
So if you were to build an app, you don't have to put Java in your app. You could have a JavaScript-based app, and that's what Cordova. That's what Cordova is typically used for, so that you can write what's called a hybrid application, where you're doing your look and feel and logic and HTML, CSS, JSON. I mean JavaScript. But I still can't get this to run. Back to the instructions real quick. There we go. Deploy to mobile. Okay, so I'm going to revoke all my my previous connections, maybe. And start over. Okay, so I'm connecting it one more time. It says USD debugging. And there's this little pop-up that came up basically saying, I lost the pop-up, shoot. Yeah, so there's this little pop-up that came up that said, do you trust this computer? And unfortunately it disappeared. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I just set it to always allow from this computer.
How did you get it to appear?
I just kept playing around with the USB debugging settings and stuff until it popped up again. Okay, so always allow from this computer. Then I go ahead and open the app dev tool. I'm gonna make sure I don't have it open already, just to be safe. Oh, I think there's a PC connection setting on this phone. And app dev tool, and it says could not bind to port 2424. Let's try one more time. Nope. So again, you can see it's coming up though.
Maybe take out the forwarding.
I did, yeah. No, no. Oh, what if? Oh, I still have it there. Yeah. Let's try one more time. We can adjust there. Nope, still cannot bind. But I wonder if I can do this. 2424 local host 8080. Still can't do it. Ready to get it to run?
Yeah.
You want to bring it up to the camera?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, thanks for changing my account. I'm just like dressed.
That is cool. So, yeah, why don't you just bring it up to here?
Okay.
And show everybody what you got.
Actually, you won't be able to see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
That's just for the,
Oh, that's, here we go. Yeah, go ahead, try it.
Oh, okay. Is it visible?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how it looks like.
You can actually play, right?
Restart. Yeah, clears it out. Then you can play. So that's it.
Cool. So yeah, if you don't know Java, but you want to make a mobile app,
yeah, that helps.
Yeah,
Just keep your JavaScript and
But
just like,
that client, people have to install it.
yeah, well, I mean, you could end up packaging it, you know, as a hybrid app and do it that way, but
Yeah, that's
so at least for internal use, you could do it.
How did you get it to give you the authorization?
Try changing the USB setting from like USB to media and stuff like that, and it should pop up at some point. This particular phone actually has a like PC setting.
I have MTP,
Right.
media, and camera.
So just jump between them, and it should pop up saying, "Oh, you're connected to a computer."
Oh, there you go. Got it.
Cool, yeah, that works.
Yeah.
A million steps you have to do
Yeah.
that are not in this lab.
Well, under ideal situations, it'll work, and otherwise, I still can't bind to 2424.
well, that's probably where Apple still's got the because everything is still theirs.
There we go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I get to
Because you think well, you think every phone brand is going to do something a little bit different, right?
Oh yeah. I had to
You won.
install the USB driver and then install
Right,
ADB.
and that's the thing. I don't have the driver, and I don't have ADB, so I don't know if it'll work. I mean, I guess I could try running that ADB
I
tool.
think ADB has to be running on your computer.
Yeah, so it's still even this Chrome ADB doesn't work. I mean, you have to have ADB installed. Yeah. You can download a small. There's like a zip file you can download with just ADB and like fastboot and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
15 second ADB.
What did you search for?
Android.
I searched for
Is it-
Android ADB.
Yeah.
Click the second link on Lifehacker.
Here, I'll go ahead.
And yeah, you can pull it up. I just said Android ADB. And then quick
So here. So the second one, which is actually fairly recent, debug bridge. That's what it's not. Yeah, the B is
It
for
just
bridge.
allows the computer to talk to your phone in debugging.
Right.
So that's running on your machine, right?
It needs to run on your local PC, yeah.
Yeah, what should you be running on your phone?
Android, and then you just have to be in developer mode. So yeah, and the instructions to do that we looked at. Where was it?
It's on the instruction.
Yeah, here.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have to the tapping is 9 times or 7 times, whatever it is.
Yeah, you just go settings and then about.
I don't know if I can deploy the IP.
About form and it's all
And then, and then your build number.
the.
Yeah, and just keep tapping on it till it tells you you're about to.
There we go.
So IP doesn't work, you have to do it.
Well, my phone for some reason can't bind to port 2424. I can try to maybe figure out port forwarding on here, but I'm not that inclined to spend that much time on it.
You said you have to install a USB driver.
Yeah, hey, this thing should actually do it too. If you can you pull up that Lifehacker?
Yeah.
Article? If you go a little bit
First
down,
GDG,
a little bit down, the first link in that paragraph there. That's what I used. And then you have to install that on your computer. It'll install ADB, and I think it'll install the drivers too.
So install it on your Chrome.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that'll work. On a Chromebook.
Usually that goes inside a compiler. You install inside a compiler because the SDK files.
For what?
Like when you want to build mobile applications, you have to install in your either your Android Studios or the Eclipse. You just install it there.
Right.
So when you just run the application, it
Yeah.
just goes through there. It's like a tools for different versions of the phone. From like 1.2 is the lowest one, or 1.2 up to 4.4, which is the API version 20. And plus, that's part of your simulator. When you have like simulator in your phone as a secondary phone, just run as a player, 2 player modes.
Okay. Hold on. Let's see. Still not doing it. Nope. Oh, what just happened? Oh, then I think my finger touched the link. I thought somehow it did it by itself.
Oh, Verizon.
It's an advertisement. No, but you know what? I'm not sure I'm on the Wi-Fi. That might be why. Yeah, it looks like authentication problem. So let me. Yeah, so that's the problem. Okay, let me try one more time. Okay, I think that's the password. IP address. Okay, this time it worked, so we'll try one more time. Okay, looks like we're good. No. Let me try 10.0.0.203. Yep, launch.
It worked?
What?
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
What did you have to do?
It wasn't on the network, so I couldn't connect to it.
Oh,
So you can see there. It's.
now why couldn't you do USB?
I am doing. Oh, why couldn't I do USB? Because there's no driver for my phone, and ADB is not running on this computer because it's a Chromebook. So it's it's a minimal install. But
Is a USB driver on the App Store? How did you check?
when you plug in your phone, it should do it automatically.
Oh,
I have to install it.
yeah, so,
So,
Well, I guess it depends on the type of phone.
well,
Yeah.
this is for everybody. If you go
For the driver of the phone?
now, open up a new Google window and just say Android USB driver, and it's like the first one.
Oh, maybe in Windows. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, Windows,
I'm
yeah.
on a Mac. I
Yeah,
forgot,
so
yeah.
get that one right there.
Google USB driver.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Android USB driver and install that.
Yeah, I
So
forgot.
what's the process at this point? You want to send it up to the store? Is that a big deal?
I don't think you have to.
Well, let's say you want to.
To upload to the
So you could upload it to the Chrome Web Store. You could do
At
that.
this point, so you get this app,
Oh,
brand new
okay.
cheesy app, and you want to have it available.
Yeah, if you want to be the guy that made tic-tac-toe on the Chrome Web Store, you could do that.
I'm sure there's.
Is
I'm
that
sure
a
there's
big
a
deal?
million.
Is that a big
TikToks.
process though?
Yeah.
No, it's not that big of a process.
You pay $25. I'm not sure about the Chrome, but the Google Store, you pay $25
Yeah.
as initial payment.
There's
For
some
the first, for the first app.
Like after that, it's free.
initial sign up.
Unless you do
Oh,
once,
that's not
if you have to, I think every 6 months, or once you have to do update, unless you have to charge more. They're gonna charge you more.
No, it's one time.
It used to be free, but not anymore.
I think they just wanted to.
It's a minimum fee just to.
Yeah, it's like just like make sure, because it used to be like a bunch of like random people just bullshitting, just upload it.
Yeah.
So Google that's decided to just kind of make some kind of initial payment. So if they wanna just do something smart, not like just download, just upload something random. Because Google never checks your code, just
Right.
give permission to do it if it doesn't virus. But app, for iOS, they check it one by one, your code and everything, make sure you.
Well, I mean, I'm not talking about anything big, but let's say, you have like a restaurant that's a
Anything.
client, and then they just want like
Yeah,
an
just-
app for their menu, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how big can that be? That's just one of these, you're not gonna do, I'm
It
not gonna do
depends what
Java
kind
with
of
that.
menu do you have. If
Huh?
it's a menu with beautiful pictures and everything, that'll take a lot of space too. And it just takes.
Yeah,
it
then you
depends how one.
Well, let's just say.
That's
let's
kind
just-
of like a web
yeah.
engineering thing, web designs. You have to design your website pretty much, and if part of it goes to mobile, then you choose mobile to download the app. So just
Right.
upload it up. So, but you cannot just anything that's from mobile from scratch. You have to have some kind of website, some kind of server to do it. Unless when you get your app, the customer click, let's say like pasta, where was it? It's gonna go like error or something because it doesn't exist.
Well, but like you can build an app where it'll tap the files from the web, right?
Yes,
You know, I mean, if it's a stupid menu, the pictures might be too big for the
I don't think that's even valid anymore.
I think, yeah, it sounds like that's an old video.
Yeah,
Because code.google.com wouldn't be used anymore.
it's not.
I thought that they
Yeah,
are moving away
it's
from it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's valid. Can't do it. It is. You
It's
got-
there.
Code
It's
dot
there?
com.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Screen
But
share.
Chrome/apps.
Let's see.
Okay, so, there we go. There's other samples as well. So yeah, Darren, if you wanted to make a app for a friend's company or whatever that you can, the point he was making is it should be a functional tool and not just a website to look at the menu.
My
You know.
websites now are much simpler websites too.
Yeah.
Like a page will only have like 3 buttons, and you just force people. You know, it's almost
Right.
It looks like an app. Like even navigation bar right now, you
Mhm.
almost say, "Oh, I wish I didn't even have to put that in."
Yeah, I mean, basically, this is just a container.
Yeah.
A Chrome app is just a container for your code, and it could be, like you said, it could just be a menu for a restaurant. But people aren't going to want to install a menu for a restaurant on their computer.
Well, it's just there's kind of like a cool factor right now if the individual business say, "Hey, download
Sure.
our app."
Yes,
It
there
could be
is.
a 2 kilobyte app, and it's accessing the menu that's
Yeah.
on the MySQL file and some
Yeah,
just post thing. But hey, they get this cool app, they get a little button.
but from the consumer side, most consumers aren't interested in installing something they're going to use for 2 seconds and never use again. So
Well, yeah, that's
if you provide some functionality like build your own breakfast, design your own breakfast,
that could
and
be,
that's
yeah.
the app. It's basically all the ingredients, and you can design your own breakfast and then submit it. And you show up at the restaurant, they're like, "Oh yeah, you wanted the Matt Kaufman special? We're gonna make it. We know what it is." That would be awesome. If the restaurant's like that,
Yeah. Well, that's an idea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's hot dog places that do that where you can get whatever you want. Choose from your choices.
A little bit more out of this.
Yeah, let's develop
Yeah.
a web app
Yeah.
that conforms to your
I do not want to be in the restaurant business. It's a hard business. But there's the stands, there's that Slaw Dogs or whatever. There's a couple different gourmet hot dog places where they just will let you crazy stuff on your hot dog. So you could do something like that. Or a deli, where people come up with their own sandwiches or something like that. Chipotle, technically, yeah, you can order whatever you want there, but the ingredient list is very finite. So
But I mean, it's a good point. Like, even it's like a simple menu, you're not going to want to store all the pictures of the hot dogs on their little.
Why not?
Well, yeah, you don't have to store it in the app. You can you could pull
access
stuff
the
off the web.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the app can do that.
Right, and so as you get new ingredients, you get avocado now. Okay, well then that Chrome app is going to be querying to figure out what are the ingredients. That's where you can use a cloud endpoint to power it.
And this is just amazing. This is where Google is so strong. I mean, they just kind of own this market thing, huh? Because like Microsoft, they don't really do stuff like this right now.
I think there's add-ons for Bing, so you could do something like
But
that.
it's not.
It's not quite the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, there's a game that I like on Web Store. I'm not going to play a game while everyone's watching, but that'll be quite the meetup. Hey, everybody. Watch me play this game.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. It's a bouncing ball one. Can't remember which one it is. It's the Google.
Yeah.
Maybe if we just go to Buy Google and free, and
So Twitch.
Yeah.
that didn't seem to update search.
Try Twitch.tv. Twitch.tv. I've actually
Yeah.
tried it first.
Yeah, this one here. So I don't know if you've seen this game here. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in the game, but it is a pretty simple game. And so you can install this as a Chrome app, and you can see there is actually an App Engine game. So basically, the app is just saying, "Hey, go to this URL and play the game on App Engine." That's all it is.
Right.
But that way, you don't have to remember the URL. That's all it is.
Wait, so the Chrome app is just a bookmark?
Basically, yeah.
Basically, and just a cover page.
Yeah.
Just for them to be able to.
More exposure. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of addictive. I got out on purpose actually, because it's not fun watching me play games all day. But yeah, you want me to get a different game? Yeah. So, but there's all sorts of stuff. I mean, that's
really good though, because that basically was running off the web. That's just a Chrome.
Right. So yeah, so
it's like a video game.
There's better games.
But I mean, that's like
you can copy this URL and play it anywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't.
I've seen like HTML5. I mean, the canvas is incredibly kind of
Right. So what they've done though, they've wrapped it in a container. They defined a manifest for it. Basically, the manifest is probably just saying, here's the URL. And as a result of that, when I go to my Chrome launcher, I have an icon for it.
And literally, somebody could have just written that just using JavaScript, just using a bunch of Windows as the mouse position.
Yeah, it's keyboard, but yeah.
No Java.
No, there's no Java on that site. I'm sure it's yeah. Well, it's on App Engine, so you could, but it's probably not.
Well, because Java is a much higher performing, because Java taps into the actual computer, right?
Well, so in that particular case, because it's running on App Engine, it could be written in Java, it could be written in Python, it could be written in Go. I don't know what it's written in. It could just be JavaScript in HTML. I have no idea. But it could point to any other website. You can make a container, you can make an app for any website you want, such as your friend's restaurant if you wanted to. But again, it comes down to, is someone going to want to install that? Now, if you have 1,000 employees, if you're Accenture and you have 1,000 employees, and you might want to make one for your website just so the employees know how to get to your website from double-clicking on their machine. That might make sense.
Well, I think at this point,
Accenture has over 30,000 employees. For them, it really makes sense.
No, but I think at this point, I think some business it's still cool to be able to say, hey, download our app. Because,
right.
They put download because everybody seems to have an app.
Yeah.
So they download and they get a little app key.
Right, but this isn't an app that you would download to your phone. This is an app that you would download to Chrome.
Well, I was actually thinking of getting an app that somebody would download to their phone.
Well, so for that, you would upload it to the Play Store.
Yeah.
Which you could still use this concept, because you can use Cordova, which is what we were looking at before, to let's see if I can find it. Here we go. Here. So create Chrome apps for mobile using Apache Cordova. So you still can do that. So you're creating a Chrome app, and then you're basically wrapping it again. So that can run mobile.
Even churches have apps now, and all it is just like maybe for their attendance, they click. It amounts to be like a simple form on a website.
Mm-hmm.
So they turn it into an app.
Yep.
And I guess maybe it identifies them.
We have an app, GDG app.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not specific to GDG LA, but we've looked at it before.
Yeah.
So there's a shout out for we should make it a Chrome app. Yeah.
That should be a code jam.
Yeah. Actually, this is not the Chrome app. This is not the mobile app. But I'm in this picture. There I am, right there.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what is that? That's all the leaders out there.
That's a fraction of them. There are over 300 of them at the event, so that's a small fraction. That's this year. Yeah, that's this year. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, right in the middle.
You gotta get a banner.
Yeah, we should get a banner. We gotta get a new logo still.
That's true.
So,
Why was wrong with that logo?
it's not really print friendly.
It costs a lot.
Ideally, we'd have something that is not a huge.
Because it's not a logo, it's a picture.
Right, it's a picture. Sorry. If I can get this to work.
Not that it's not cool, it is cool.
And apparently our website's not working at all. There we go. Yeah. So this is not really a logo. This is a picture.
I thought just the little.
Oh no, the little thing that's printable. Yeah, but
But that's everybody.
yeah. So ideally, we're looking for a new logo. If anybody's good with graphics.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, it's not a logo.
You still want to keep
So the echelon, whatever it's called, the arrow. Yeah, we want that. It should be part of it. Yeah, it doesn't have to be, but it should be. We're open to other stuff. But if you look at the pictures there, you see this is what the logos that most people have is the little echelon, GDG, and then the name of the chapter. And then you can't tell here, but there's actually stuff in the background. Or this one here, they have a little thing there. In fact, if we just do,
Well, I thought of something that it has like the porn industry, so I'll bow out.
yeah.
Where did that come from?
That's what I'm saying, I'm gonna
Okay.
bow out.
Okay.
Well, you know, the closest thing associated.
So you see that
they'll.
they typically will have like something in the background that pertains to that location, but it needs to be like a black and white type of image. Like this one here, like that's a great one. I don't know where that is, but
Mine would be like a
Yeah.
suggested image.
I mean we can do the generic one. The generic one is just the globe in the background, and that's perfectly acceptable. But the cooler ones do other stuff. Last year, a lot of people were doing stuff like this, where the blue and red and green or yellow were made up of other stuff. And that was kind of
No,
neat.
they make the color be the same, right? Google would make the color the same.
I just mean that the people's logos were being made up of different things.
Right.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right, maybe.
Yeah. So, yeah, like that kind of thing. Or here, this will go on GDG Injet, so they incorporate the colors into just the letters, which is neat.
What was the reasoning behind the Google color? You know that?
They're the primary colors?
Is that it? Is that as obvious as that?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Green, RGB. Okay.
And then, yeah. All right, we have some weird stuff when you Google GDG.
Yeah, every time I search for it.
That is weird stuff. I don't know what's going on with GDG. So we are still looking for a new image, new logo. Yeah. The other thing that I was considering, and this would be part of a bigger movement though, is if we wanted to rename it to like GDG SFV or something like that, since we really only meet in the valley, and that would allow other people to start one on the west side if they wanted to. So, and I know you come from really far too.
Yeah.
There's not. I mean, there's the Google offices in Venice, and we're really not. I mean, this is an independent organization, although we receive.
Swag.
Yeah, I would say we receive stuff from Google. We're technically not sponsored or everything we say here is independent and not anything to do with them type of thing.
Can I ask everybody here something?
Yeah.
I'm not really a developer. I'm just a guy with a website.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm here is just to find somebody who can help me make a Google map.
So what do you mean by make a Google map?
Well, I know how to make a Google map in terms of the layers. I've made a few layers. I just saw how to do it, pins around and so